The following program was produced by CTV Community Television.
For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Well, as we move through the month of February, I wanted to wear my red sweater in honor of all the Valentines from last week, and we hope you had a great weekend. Joining us today is Mr. Bob Robert Freehan.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Back from the St. Clair Historical Museum and Research Center. You've got a major project that's coming up. Maybe the people have heard about it, but we want to get into the detail of it today. And you told me before we started, you recently sent out an email or a regular U.S. mail.
Yes.
Letter.
We still send out
snail mail to an audience requesting funds. And why are we requesting funds?
So, you want me to answer that question?
Absolutely.
We're going to start that way. Actually, well, let me go back a little bit. This whole thing started about 9 months ago when an individual approached us and said, "What do you think about building a new museum?"
And you said, what?
And I said, huh? You know, like, what are you talking about? And so he's become a major donor. And really what we're looking at doing is doing some of the things we've never been able to do or to have the money to do, like a dedicated research room.
Oh, wow.
Or space where, some space to do some creative things, more imagineering, if you will. Disney refers to it as imagineering,
right,
where you're taking something and you're plussing it.
Okay.
You're making it more engaging.
Right.
And we've tinkered around with that, but we've never really had the money to do it. So we saw this as an opportunity with this kind of major funding to reconstruct or reimagine the building itself. We're part of the community center building, but we occupy a good portion of it now over time. And so this is a great opportunity to really say, where do we want to be 10 years from now? Where do we want to be 15 years from now? And as I've mentioned at some of the meetings that we've had, we're really trying to become a destination museum.
Yep.
And that a lot of people don't realize what that is, but you become a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
You're not just part of history or a storage cabinet.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people say, oh, museum's just a place where you collect old stuff. Well, no, we're into storytelling. And we want to be able to package that storytelling within the confines of a building, but also then that building becomes the focal point for reaching out into the community to do other things. But what's key to even doing any of that for visitors, for our own volunteers, or for people that are from St. Clair and they're coming to the community center or the museum for activities, is a lot of people can't climb stairs. And that building, since its construction 125 years ago,
yeah, it's amazing,
has 21 steps going up to the second floor, which is why the church, and it originally was the First Baptist Church, why they decided they were going to sell the building, because their congregation just was not able to do it. So we've done a lot with the building over the past. By the way, this is the 50th anniversary year of the St. Clair Museum as a building.
Wow.
And so this is part of our real focal point, if you will, is to do something very creative with the building. So now we have the opportunity we have the money to do some of these things, and we have a concept of
you have some of the money.
We have some of the money, but not the money that we really need, and that's a focal point, and it was what the architect really struggled with, is where do we put the elevator?
Elevator. Oh, you're going to
So you're going to have an elevator.
That's a great
and
idea.
Every time I mention an elevator to people, whether it's our volunteers or whether it happens to be some of our visitors, say, oh yeah, it'd be great if you had an elevator.
Right.
And so when we approached the architect and we talked about an elevator, they said, oh, well, you realize they cost money.
Right.
Yes, I know they cost money. So what we decided to do, because we had a major donor that was willing to look at the construction of a building and a facility and being able to upgrade those kinds of things, what the community could really, because it affects the community more than almost anything else, both residents and people visiting the community, is having an elevator. So that's why we launched just recently through a flyer that we went out in the mail. You mentioned that in your intro, that there is a flyer that we have that's gone out. We use snail mail on this one.
That's fine.
We have about 450
Still
people.
works.
It still works. We will send it out as email. But as you can see, it says for 50 years, our volunteers and our visitors have been struggling going up the set of steps. Now, this isn't a typical set of steps like going from in your house, going up from one floor to the next. It's like a story and a half between floors there. So, and then we said, well, okay, the problem is that the main building's on one level, or on 2 levels, then the annex is on another 2 levels, and another annex is on another 2 levels. So we need an elevator that goes to 5 different locations.
5 levels.
5 stops. And so, and it goes to 5 stops because we couldn't afford to tear down the existing annexes totally,
Right.
so we reconstructed a lot of things. The architect came up with some interesting
The architect
plans.
had a lot of fun with this project.
Fun and challenge.
Right.
Because they, just to where they're going to locate that, knowing that they had this amount of money to deal with and trying to keep the cost down for the construction so that the only way that they could do that was actually by having an elevator. So, I mean, this is a $100,000 plus price tag to an elevator. They're not cheap.
That's just the elevator. That's not.
That's just the
improvement.
elevator.
Yeah.
No, that's not. The whole building is. We're talking $750,000 and that sort of thing. But the elevator is key to getting people in and around, and our volunteers. We've had 3 volunteers in the past year that have not been able to volunteer anymore because they can't get up and down the steps.
Yeah.
So it's a key element. So we figured, okay, we're not really asking the community to come up with color schemes, that sort of thing for the exterior of the building.
It's one color scheme, green.
Yes,
money.
that's the primary thing. And so if they come up with, that's their participation. So we're asking the community, whether it's $10, whether it's $100, we do memorial donations.
Oh, okay.
We actually have taken some of the money that was donated in the past year for people like Mary Boda, who passed away just recently,
Very
about a year
active
ago.
member of the museum.
Very active. And people donated money to the museum for whatever we wanted to use it for in her honor. And we're actually allocating that money for the elevator. So as people are making donations now, we tell them specifically that this is going for the elevator. And that's the kind of thing that people can say, oh, if I come to the museum or I come to the community center, I help pay for the elevator.
On your flyer, it's specific. It says St. Clair, make the checks out to St. Clair Historical Museum Elevator Fund.
Yes, and that's
with
got 2 A's in it, but that's...
I just send it to 308 South 4th Street, St. Clair, 48079. The museum itself address is 4th Street. It's easy to get to. You brought along some pictures of what's going to happen.
Okay, yes, we brought along some. By the way, the one that we sent out didn't have the 2 A's in it, so.
All right, so let's give an overview.
So you can see with this, by the way, while he's got that up there, you can see we've already raised $55,000.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
And part of that is from the Moore family, who've been very involved in the museum. So we have some major donors in all of the aspects of this. So what we're really asking is for the average person in St. Clair, if they can contribute $10.
Or outside St. Clair, East China.
Or outside East China, St. Clair Township, because we serve that whole area.
Right.
So we're not, yes, we'll take a major donation, and we certainly wanted to acknowledge it, but we acknowledge any donation over $25.
Okay.
So.
All right, if Sully will throw up the first slide there. There we go.
This is the one that seemed to draw the most interest because this is the exterior. The building on the left is the existing St. Clair Community Center, and then the building on the right that's white, and the final color will be a lighter color. That's not necessarily the color that it will be, but that will be the new building.
Helps us distinguish
Yes.
at this point.
And because this is a historic district, that building had to complement
Okay.
the existing church because the entire block is a historic district. So what they found, it would be easier to do because the new building has a basement.
Okay.
And so in order to build that, they didn't really want to start digging down right next to the old church
Right.
and the foundation of the church. So they put in a separate, like about a 12-foot wide, 12-foot deep,
Entrance.
two-story entrance. That'll be the common entrance.
Oh, wonderful.
For-
This is off the existing parking lot.
Now part of the plan, and the city had already planned on repaving the parking lot. So that's been in the works, but now that will be held off until we actually do the construction for.
Okay.
Now this is a different view looking from 4th Street, so it's looking at the opposite side. But there you can see the original church. But the way that we saved money was we kept the annex, the original east annex, and you can see the levels,
Yeah.
see the floor levels are slightly
Right.
different. So the elevator, which would be right back in the corner of where those three buildings meet, the elevator would be right there. So it serves the two levels on the old annex, and the 3 levels, including the basement of the new build and the old church building.
On top of the existing annex.
Yes. Notice
Is that a patio?
that's a patio,
Wow.
potentially a roof garden,
Wonderful.
but it plays for outdoor
Yeah.
displays and things like that too.
Wonderful.
So we're looking at a place where we can also do programming. So in the summertime, you could do some programming out there. There will be program areas inside because history, as I said, a lot of people think it's just collecting old stuff.
Right.
And we get people quite frequently, they'll come in and say, wouldn't you like something, we're cleaning out their grandmother's old house or something.
Right.
Wouldn't you like, because I have a 100-year-old ironing board.
Oh.
Well, what's the story?
Yeah.
You know, first of all, who was your mother in the community, and what kinds of things got ironed on this? Because that's what we
Did
do.
she bring it from Ireland or where?
Was it something that she got from?
Yeah,
She
right.
may have inherited.
You need that story,
inherited-
that background.
That's what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
And our programs are very much into storytelling. So the facility itself, even the new build, some of the things that go on inside there. In fact, if you wants to go to one of the floor plans, or
People will probably recognize this is the entrance off of 4th Street.
correct,
Now, the new entrance we saw is behind this.
that's off the parking lot, and that will become the main entrance. This one will become more of an auxiliary entrance, even more so than it is now.
Okay.
It will still go into the community room, but the main entrance for the museum, which in some cases for the program was off of 4th Street, that now we will focus on the new build. This gives you a better configuration.
Yeah, there you go.
This is the whole block, and what you can see in
So I
this
got 4th Street on the right,
right-hand side.
and I got 5th Street on the left.
And then the new parking lot, that will be paved. Now it's currently not paved. And then you can see a concept of doing a community patio
Yeah.
and moving some of the buildings out there so they become more program buildings rather than just display buildings from the outside. We can use them, and there can be events. There can be community events out on the patio too that are they're ancillary. They augment what's already going on in the mall,
Right.
in
Oh,
that
yeah,
courtyards
okay.
area.
Okay.
So you might be doing a mini art show
Yeah.
here with on the patio area. The main building, the main church building, which we occupy the 2nd floor, that stays the same, and the community room there might be used for more audiovisual presentation. We might run periodic, there's a whole series that the Historical Society of Michigan does. They have people that do presentations on things like the history of the Edsel automobile. Now,
Right.
do you remember the Edsel?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So we have free access to that. So we may run some things during the daytime, in the evening, in that particular location. But you can see the new edition is separate now
Yeah.
from the main church building with that connector space that's in between. And you can see there where it shows the new main entrance to the
Okay,
building.
next
So
picture. There we go.
now, okay, now you come in and there you see the common lobby where you come into the building. The blue
Oh, the
is
blue,
the new
okay.
build
So again, 4th Street is over on the right.
over on the right-hand side
5th Street is on the left,
and the parking lot.
and the
yeah.
parking lot. So I'm coming in the middle of the picture there. It says Common Lobby.
Common lobby, and then it says rotating exhibit. Well, the rotating exhibit, which will be glass fronted, and that's going to be something like I was thinking of this year creating a display for the St. Clair Inn. This is the 100th anniversary of the St.
Yeah,
Clair Inn.
yeah.
And so we've got the space to really tell the story of the St. Clair Inn there for people that are visiting. And the St. Clair Inn has an interesting story. For those people who know the term, the St. Clair Inn was crowdfunded,
Right.
okay? Because they literally built that with money that
St. Clair Rotary.
the St. Clair Rotary sold stock
Yeah.
in it. So what things that go around come around and come
right.
around again. So that's part of the story, could be potentially part of the story. Or we might have an exhibit in there of St. Clair past, present, and future.
Okay, so that's the new part of the new edition.
And then they would come in those double doors going down into the blue area.
Right.
And that's the main entrance to the museum. That's where the fort, the model of the fort will be. There'll be exhibit area about indigenous people. Some of the early days, a lot of people don't know that St. Clair dates its history back to 1764.
Wow.
The origins of St. Clair go back to Fort Sinclair in 1764. We have a model of the fort, but what we're doing, we've already plussed that fort exhibit because right next to the fort, there's a tablet that has a Minecraft game. You can actually take your character inside the realm of the fort.
That's amazing.
And you can go in and do some trading activity in the trading post. So, but you see center to that. See where it says ELEV?
Yes,
That's the elevator.
That's the elevator with the arrows.
So it's going to, as soon as you come into the museum, the elevator's right there, and that elevator would go downstairs to the basement that will be below that area, or it will go up to the next level, which is the level of the East Annex, and then it will go up to the next level, which is the second story that I'll show you in just a minute, and then the top level will be the second story of the entire building.
Beautiful.
So the elevator and the location of the elevator was a key element.
Right.
And what Vince Cataldo, the architect, told me is that's what he struggled with for such a long time. Where are they going to put it? But that's what allowed us to save a couple $100,000 and not having to tear down the East Annex. That East Annex remains as it is. The Maritime Room remains there. But in the Maritime Room, we may very well have a simulator where people who visit the museum will be able to, and this is already in the works. It's a combination of a simulator and a video game.
Okay.
So it's a sit-down video game and might have 3 screens. It'll have the inside of the ferry boat, the front of the ferry boat from the captain's viewpoint, circa 1950. Well, the ferry boat, and I'm sorry I didn't bring a picture of it, but the ferry boat in 1950 was a passenger ferry, and it pulled the cars and the trucks on a scow, a barge behind it.
And it
30
went
feet.
to Courtright?
It went from Courtright to St. Clair. Now, we're going to give people an experience of doing that, but we've gamified it.
Wonderful.
So what they will do is they have a certain amount of time to load passengers and or cars and or trucks. They get more points for the more trucks that they get on the barge, or more points.
You charging a quarter to play the game?
We haven't decided on that yet, but with the amount of money, I mean, we're spending some money on having the game, having the game made. It will be of the level of any game that you find on your phone, because it's being done by companies that by a company that produces those kinds of things. Wonderful. We're not spending $1 million on it. A lot of people don't realize.
But as you have said many times, you're trying to make this a destination, and that kind of thing will ignite the young people.
It will ignite, I think, a lot of people. I mentioned this to Dave, the guy that runs the boat harbor. I said, this is what we're doing. And he said, oh, the people that are in the boat harbor
would love
they'll love it. And I said, but they're used to driving a single boat.
Right.
And going into a dock that's prepared for them. The ferry boat in 1950 was a passenger boat. He just brought it in alongside of the seawall, and the scow had to come in behind and then go past behind, because you couldn't drive the trucks off the front of it. It couldn't be directly behind. So you're going to have to really be creative.
I can't wait for that. All right, well, let's keep going. Let's get to the second floor now.
Okay, the second floor, now to the right-hand side where it says workroom, and then it says Blaine Research Center. That's the dedicated research center, and that was an important element for the donor, because right now when people come in and they're trying to do genealogical research, it's all scrambled. We've got the stuff all over the place, all over the building. We've got people that are doing other things at the same time. So this gives us a separate work area and a separate research area, a quiet area that'll have computers available so they can go online to do newspapers.com research.
Yep.
They can go online to do any kind of research that is available online. And plus, they have access to all of our assessment records, all of our family histories, and things like that. And that's a mission that we have as a museum. That's why we call ourselves a research center. And that's a service we provide. A lot of museums of this size, even a larger size than ours, don't provide that kind of service. So we feel that's important. And then a dedicated workroom also. The other element that's key is we currently have a number of specialty rooms, like the shoe shop and the kitchen and the tool room and so on. They will find home within this space also.
Level.
But on the existing east annex, there's also the salt room. Well, we've doubled the size of the salt room, because what we're working with Cargill on right now is being able to give a tour of the plant, but not your everyday tour where you're just walking through. The idea is for this to be the kind of thing that would be almost, you would go to Disney World and have like a mini ride of the plant.
Oh, okay.
And that's the other thing. When the architect first brought this to us, they had the mine tour. Well, they didn't know that, and a lot of people don't know that salt in this area, there are no salt mines as such. There are brine wells. Right. So we've got to take that concept and make it interesting, and the creation or the development of salt and diamond crystal in particular, the diamond crystal salt, and the Alberger process.
Hundreds of years of history right there. In the community.
But we want to make it entertaining. So it'll be like a mini theater, but the show that'll be on there will be something that you wouldn't expect to see.
Spectacular. All right. So, and then the main exhibit area is pretty much what we're saying,
but we're going to be
freshening it up,
possibly putting in, as I mentioned, we may be doing some special presentations. We have a presentation area in there. So we may be getting involved in doing more things like doing a seminar on quilting, or on repairing old furniture, or doing some things like that. So instead of just showing off old stuff, what happens if you have a piece of old furniture
Right.
and you're not really that skill set in it? Maybe we have somebody come in and do a presentation on repairing old furniture, or tips and techniques
Right.
and that sort of thing.
All right, so let's go back to the opening pictures there, the two buildings. The first one, Sully, there, that one there. So this is impressive. This is bright. This is fresh. It looks good, and that's really what you're trying to accomplish, is to make
Yes.
something new with something old.
It's to freshen it up and to tell the story is not that we're old and we're old just for the sake of being old. We're old for the sake of telling the story about how things were old and what now really represents that same concept. It's like, what can you do now because you have electricity
Right,
that you couldn't do
right,
before you
right,
had
right,
electricity?
right.
What can you do now because you have gasoline, or because you have solar power, and so
Right.
on? So we also want to use this as an opportunity to bring the history of St. Clair up to the present day.
Okay.
And a lot of people think, oh, it has to be a classic car. It has to be 25 years old, otherwise it's not history. We're making history today.
Okay. Right.
I mean, this is actually, doing a new building
right.
is part of the history of the
Right.
museum.
Let me ask, what's the timeline for this?
We've received the preliminary proposals from the architect. What he's doing now is he refined them. So what you see here is the second iteration. Then we expect to get pricing within the month of February. Then we go to site plan approval. Then we have to go to the Historic District Commission because this is in a historic district.
Yeah.
So we have to get approval for this exterior concept. And then once we get to that point, then we start looking at possibly going to developing the drawings that would go out for bid
Okay.
for contractors. So we expect maybe by the 1st of June, which is our target deadline for the elevator, that we may be ready to let contracts or that sort of thing. Okay. So we are part of the city. We're a commission of the city. So actually, this is a city project, if you will. But because the museum is primarily a donations-only museum, we get some of the support from the city.
Is it a nonprofit? I mean, 501c or whatever that number is?
We're not, but in Michigan, all donations to municipal operations like this, like municipal museums and so on, are tax. We tell people check with their tax consultant.
Right,
But,
absolutely.
But
absolutely.
in Michigan has some interesting laws because they encourage, and they know a number of museums are part of a municipal operation.
But the first thing you're talking about is, and if they'll throw this slide back up again, is getting the elevator paid for.
You
got half of the money.
Yeah.
You got $55,000. You need $100,000, and all they got to do is write a check from $1 to $54,000.
I had a lady at a last presentation. In fact, the last two presentations, the same lady came up to me at the end of the presentation. She said, and she handed me a $50 bill.
That's
And
wonderful.
She said, "This is for the elevator."
Wonderful, wonderful.
So we do take cash.
Make
too.
it take St. Clair Historical Museum Elevator Fund, 308 South 4th Street, St. Clair, in any amount will be appreciated.
Yes, and we will acknowledge any amount.
Well, I want to thank you for coming in. I think the audience and the people of the community of the St. Clair area need to know what's happening and what's going on. And this is quite a detailed presentation you've made to us, and we thank you for that.
Okay, enjoyable for me to be here. So
And I, as we progress through this
we will,
timeline, I want you to come back with updates and pictures.
We'll invite you to break ground with.
Okay, with.
Or you can bring your sledgehammer and help with some.
There you go. That's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Bob Freehan is his name. We appreciate all he's doing for the community and for the museum. And make sure you make out that check today. And even more importantly, why don't you get involved and volunteer at the St. Clair Historical Museum and Research Center. I'll see you next week. Thanks.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.
The preceding program was produced by CTV Community Television. CTV Community Television is supported by the cities of Marine City and St. Clair, East China Township, Cotterville Township, and the East China School District.